Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
What's happening? How are we today?
What's going on?
Sunday.
Jeremy Kelly, man. First in line. What's up, man?
Jeremy Kelly, what's happening, sir? It's Sunday, and Doss, I wish we were all standing actually in the lobby physically.
I know it.
Talking to one another today. I miss everybody. Randy, Mark, Joe, Jen Lane. I don't feel like I have seen Jen Lane in forever.
I know it. I can't. It's going to be. I know it's going to be so cool to see her again, and so many more.
And I love seeing everybody pile on here. Shyler and Adam and Eddie and Karen, Patrick, Geneva, Christy. Christy, you may be battling Eddie for perfect attendance in online worship. I think I've seen Christy every single week for church online.
Come on.
Christy, have you missed any church online at all?
I don't think she has.
I don't think she has. Eddie would probably know. Eddie's on top of this stuff pretty good. Eddie Lee. For those of you watching that don't know Eddie, you should know Eddie, but Eddie has perfect church attendance, and he's quick to let us all know that. Asher, you going to tell everybody hey this morning?
Hey.
We're talking to everybody from church today, having a good time together. Isn't that cool?
Jeremy Kelly, I saw you pushing your bike through the woods this morning on Facebook Live. That was that was entertaining.
Cruz says hey to you, Asher. Cruz is watching. Hey, Cruz.
Hey.
Say good morning.
Good morning.
Well, Doss, we are. I feel like we're pretty close to nailing down a return date.
Yes.
So most everybody who has responded to our survey that we sent out for everybody, most everybody's pretty comfortable coming back to church, looking forward to being together.
Yeah.
People are excited about our kids getting back together in kids' church and being together. And then we had a few folks that just had some just slight hesitation is what was said.
Yeah.
So some of those slight hesitations. Doss, can you address some of that? Just obviously we want to recognize where most people are and what their concerns are and kind of what we're going to do and how we're going to maybe address some of that on our return day. I'll say this, everybody. Just keep a watch this week. We should have you a date this week of when we're going to return. We're pretty close to go ahead and nailing that down. And that all of our team leads and our C team, you guys will be in the know first so that you have plenty of time to prepare. And we'll be doing that. We'll make sure that everybody has ample time to prepare. We've been working on some strategies on how to make it, safe for everybody and make everybody really comfortable in coming back together. So, Doss, one thing that's big is our kids is kids ministry and making sure our kids are safe. Kids are going back to school, kind of rolling into this new normal in the school. So tell us a little bit about just some of the things that we're going to do in kids ministry just to make sure everybody's safe and our kids are taken care of.
Yeah. So we've been working, Sheila Jeffries and I, we've had lots of conversations and planning opportunities. So we've been talking with other churches that have opened successfully and are doing a good job and looked at a lot of processes and how we're going to lay it all out at our church. So we've got a lot of systems and structures in place that I think are going to be helpful. We're going to, when we re-enter this go around, our plan is to re-enter with kids ministry. So little things, all of our serve team, they're going to wear masks. They're going to be masked up, just as a benefit and a precaution for all of the kids that are going to be attending church at either campus. Like in our preschool where there are toys, they've got bins separated. So all the toys there, if you come to, say you come to 10:15 at a campus, so they'll play with those toys. Those toys will be reboxed and not used at the next worship experience. So they'll be sanitized and cleaned appropriately for the next week. They're going to temperature check every child when they come in to make sure, a little health screening to make sure everybody's good to go.
Sure.
As they're checked in. So little things, little steps, right? But that make a huge difference in my mind as a parent, in the eyes of a parent, to know that we're making sure that they're being taken care of in a safe, clean, healthy environment so that you can enjoy church as well. So,
yeah. So recap. So kids church, we've got temperature checks. We've got kids, all of our kids team wearing masks because they're in close quarters with the kids there. So that's just kind of an extra step. We've got separate bins, separate toys for every worship experience for different kids to use. And obviously they're sanitized and cleaned after. So all of those I think are really good, just precautions for just kids and taking care of our kids. And because I don't know about you. I mean, I'm pretty sure everybody's in the same boat we are. I mean, Asher can't wait to get back and play with kids and be together.
Yeah.
And so I think it's going to be a big day, church, when we come back together. And all of our kids get to come back and play and hang out and love Jesus and all the cool stuff that we get to do at Cultivate Kids on Sundays. And I love Geneva, baby dedication. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
So baby dedications, baptism. Listen, some of you guys are watching and you've made a decision for Christ over the course of this year and this season. And some of you are just like, I need to get back and I would love to be baptized. I mean, you're just excited for it. And so we're going to be providing some opportunities for those things as well. So I think really, Dawson, when we get back this season, it's going to be hit the ground running hard. I mean, we're really going to ramp up, some things and go back full force. We're just excited and ready to get back in the norm.
Yeah.
So, and the other thing is, guys, we opened back up the very first weekend we could in May. And made it through July until just locally we watch the news. We all know what they're saying across the country. But for Shelby County, for our areas and where our locations are in Alabaster and Columbiana, people just started getting sick. I mean, it was like, Dawson, was almost like the plague. I mean, we went all year, didn't know anybody locally sick, and then everybody is sick everywhere. I mean, you talk to people from different churches, from different parts of town, people that don't even – everybody was just sick in Alabaster and in Columbiana, Shelby County. So we just said, hey, this is a good time to pause, and then we're going to come back together. So now we're getting there. It's time. And then I really believe once we get back, that's it. We're ready. I don't foresee at this point, from what we're seeing across the state, what we're seeing locally, Dawson, I don't really see a slowdown unless something just dramatically changes.
Yeah. I mean, it's so thankfully, thank the Lord. I mean, we're a green state now. Numbers are on a decline in the state of Alabama. I think, whatever anybody wants, the mask ordinance seems to be working with people, doing all of us doing our part when we go and where we're at. And we're in a good, healthy spot. I read an article yesterday where even in Shelby County, you're most likely not to be exposed or whatever right now where we sit. So I think it's just a really good time for us to start moving forward and start opening the church again, and man, just start seeing God do what I already know He's doing in our hearts now. So
yep. And this is crazy. I want to say this to somebody who may be watching. Dawson, we've had a lot of emails from a lot of people. It's been amazing. I don't know why this season. I would love, if this is you and you've sent an email to us, I would love to hear from you to know. But we've had lots of emails from people just in the community that's saying, hey, when are you opening back up? We can't wait to come and visit. We want to, or people that said, hey, we came 1 or 2 Sundays before you had to close down, and when are you opening back up? And we want to get involved. There's been like this just sort of, I don't know, stream of people who have, I don't know if you've found Cultivate for the first time or if it's friends or family that's a part of the church. I'd love to know why.
Yeah.
But with all that being said, before we close, we just had a great swell of momentum with what the Lord was doing, people finding Jesus, people showing up to church on Sundays and enjoying the experience at Cultivate Church. Columbiana, I mean, we're pretty close to having to add a third experience in Columbiana. I mean, just right at, capacity over there. I mean, just so all that being said, I do believe coming back in this season, it's going to be an awesome season. It's going to be an exciting time for everybody to come together.
Yeah.
So the return date, keep a lookout. We'll have that posted this week, and our teams, you guys know, we'll have you prepared in plenty of time for us to be ready and to come back really on top of it, ready to roll.
Yeah.
So another thing, Doss, that was really exciting this week, we want to share with everybody, kind of an Alabaster campus update, and then we want to talk for a second about Columbiana as well. But many of you know, you heard the announcement that we are moving facilities in Alabaster to across the street in the old Foodland building.
Yeah.
Now, we talked last week in our lobby hangout here about partnering with Crunch Fitness and it being a partnership with them. They're going to take a portion of the space, and we are taking a portion of the space. So here's what's been happening. We've been waiting on Crunch Fitness to finalize their layout and their blueprint so that we could then begin the process on our side.
Yeah.
There's some kind of weird shifts in the way that we're dividing the building, and a lot of ours determines on what they did on their side. So many of you may have seen this on Facebook this week if you follow that, but Crunch actually released their image of the outside portion of their building. And this is what it looks like right here, everybody. This is the old Foodland, and this is what Crunch is doing. We will be to the left of this Crunch facility here. And then we have the option to come out and design our outside portion as well. But this right here is the layout currently. So the good news, Doss, what that means for us is that now that they have that completed, we get blueprints this week. So tell us about what's happening this week, Doss, and then what that means for us when we get these blueprints in hand.
So we've got a meeting this week scheduled. We'll meet. We'll kind of go over what where the actual space is by the foot down to the inch, what all of that's going to look like. So we'll be able to now go to our architect, get all of our blueprints designed. We already have a tentative idea of what the layout of the facility. Y'all, we've had that for a long time. So we've got a tentative layout of what everything's going to look like in the new facility. So we're going to take that to the architect, make sure everything's appropriate where it needs to be. We're going to get those things stamped pretty quickly, and from that point forward, we'll be moving into demo and into design and work fairly quickly. So
really at this point, because Crunch has their portion done this week, we meet with their team. We get a copy of their blueprints, and then we begin our process of getting our design handed over to. We've already got all those key people lined up so they can begin the process. Again, Patrick Young has worked, sleeplessly to be able to get this done. I don't know that he sleeps at night working on this stuff, but everybody's lined up to go ahead and take our drawings and put those into blueprints. So while our process is being done on that end, demo can come in the building and begin the tear down and the put back of what that building should be, so that once our stuff is done, the demo is done, we're ready to come in and begin that construction process together. So, it's real, it's happening, and it's exciting right now. It really, really is exciting. Doss, one of my favorite portions of the preliminary drawings of the new building is going to be the lobby space from front of the building all the way to the back of the building. Is just an insane amount of lobby and hangout so people can gather and talk. You remember, Doss, when in Alabaster, right before we opened up the Columbiana campus, that you would come out of the back doors on Sundays and people were just standing in the lobby like this because you just didn't want to leave. You just wanted to hang out and you wanted to talk. But unfortunately, we just didn't have really comfortable space to do that.
Yep.
And so now we're going to have plenty of space.
Absolutely.
Just sit. If you come to 9 o'clock and you want to worship and serve, and then you want to sit in the lobby from 10 to whenever,
hang out, you can do it.
You got plenty of time, plenty of space to do that. It's going to be really, really exciting. So we're looking forward to that. So with that being said, Doss, not only are we making plans for the Alabaster campus, but we are also thinking ahead for Columbiana as well.
Yeah.
So we want to present something just a little bit this morning, just kind of a little sneak peek of something that's going to be coming out soon as we begin this process. But we're calling this whole process building a bigger table. And what this process is going to be, you guys know our heart is always to make room for just one more person. We've always said Cultivate is a place where whosoever will, let them come. We have never cared about what they look like, what circumstance of life they were in. We just don't care. This is a place for everybody to meet Jesus.
Yeah.
And so over the course of several years now, Doss, we have been in this process of trying to make room for more people.
Yeah.
And so since we have communicated this from the beginning, it's not about a building. Buildings are buildings. They dilapidate, they fall apart, they fill up, they get empty. This is about the people that God wants to bring life change to, that God wants to totally, radically change their lives. And the building is nothing more than just a tool or a resource to provide that opportunity.
Yes.
And so when we're saying we want to build a bigger table, the table is in its essence, it's our facility where we bring people to the table and let them have a seat to eat of the stuff that God has to bring. So with that being said, not only are we building a bigger table for Alabaster, but Doss, we're already looking ahead for Columbiana as well.
Yeah.
So phase 1, let's get Alabaster rolling. Phase 2, let's start making preparations for Columbiana.
That's right. So in this campaign, we're going to be raising some resource, right? We need to we're going to be raising some money. But in this reality, as we just look forward with vision, we realize that God's providing an opportunity, an open door here in Alabaster to increase this campus. But we know that at some point in the near future, we're going to have to build a new space for Columbiana. So we're going to outgrow that space at some point pretty quickly. And we're already looking forward to where are we going to build? What are we going to look for? Where's property going to be? And we want to be prepared when that day gets here. Because here's what happened with Alabaster. We moved into that campus in 2014, and it was kind of slow, steady growth. And then 2016 hit, and we completely exploded out of that space. And just to be honest, just to be frank, we were not prepared as a church to take on, or we didn't really have a plan to build
anybody.
We didn't know what to do. We were out of space in 2016, and we just continued that way up until now. This door is being open, but I want to be fully prepared in Columbiana. So as we're prepared, so as we enter into this Build a Bigger Table campaign, we're looking forward into this campus, but also sustaining, go ahead and putting in place the resource that's going to be needed to just step into the opportunity when it's prepared in the next year or two with Columbiana. Also with missions and what God's doing around the world through missions and the Vine Network. And you guys may or may not know this, but we oversee quite a number of pastors and chaplains and churches all around the world through the Vine Network and missions opportunities like we have in Mexico. So the Lord's just opening doors, and it takes resource, and we are the church. We exist for the world, and God has given us this opportunity, man, just to make a difference in what a time to be alive and make a difference. So this Build a Bigger Table campaign far exceeds just our Alabaster campus. Yeah. It is all encompassing what God is calling us to do. And I just can't wait for all of us to step up and step in and just with our generosity, step out and go, all right, God, what's next? What do you have for us? Because it's going to be so cool for us to literally pull up a chair always for just one more person as we continue into the future of what God's got for our church.
Yeah. What I love about this team at Cultivate, all the incredible people who make the church what it is that, Doss, when we said we're one church in 2 locations, it's not just a tagline. It's not just, it wasn't something that we just did. It really is. I mean, we're cohesive. We are as invested in Columbiana as we are invested in Alabaster, and we are as invested in Alabaster as we are in Columbiana. And I love that we have people that serve at both locations, people that attend at both locations. It's just, to me, it literally is this cohesive unit that is one. It's not separated. So the vision of our church is literally exactly whatever God wants to do in one. I mean, he's doing it across the board. That's the vision.
Yeah.
So it's all the way through and through. So I'm just excited about what's coming and what's ahead. The Fred's building is open. Call Fred. Dave, call Fred and talk to him. That sounds good. Hey, anything that's an opportunity that you guys see, hey, never say never. Doss, we've learned to never say never. I mean, so anything that you guys see as an opportunity. Hey, is there any questions out there? I know that we just dropped a whole lot of information on you guys, and it's early in the morning. So anybody have anything that you just want to bring up or just ask? And if we can, we'll be glad to get you some information. While you guys may be getting those questions together, I will tell you that we will have a dedicated place on the website at cultivatechurch.tv for Build a Bigger Table. And when we launch this is going to become the hub for all updates and all information on what's happening. So we'll keep up to date with graphics, images of what's happening, timeline, dates that we get, everything that you want to know about the building, you'll be able to keep up with it at the website at cultivatechurch.tv as we put together your landing page for Build a Bigger Table.
And anything, listen, I know anything that is a requirement for us to just step out in faith. I realize at times it can be kind of difficult to go, man, but I just want to remind you, when God calls us to it, it's his bill to fit. Now he fits it through our generosity and through our obedience. Yeah. But our responsibility is simply to obey. And I can just tell you from my own life experience, the reality that God's just always been faithful. And when we walk in obedience to his call and his work, I'm just telling you guys, he'll blow your mind. When we simply go, man, how's all this going to happen? That's not our responsibility. That's the Lord's. Ours is just to simply take it a day at a time, a step at a time, an opportunity at a time, and just walk in obedience and watch him do what he does.
We're called to be faithful to it, and we're called to steward it well.
That's right.
And if we do those two things, church, then God will be faithful. We steward it well, and we are faithful to what he says to do. And Paige, I think what we're going to do is if your worship is not active enough that you burn a few calories, then we send you next door to the treadmills at Crunch. And I'm hoping to have a secret passageway from my office into Crunch directly. I don't even want to have to walk outside. I mean, I hope I've got VIP passcode entrance to the back door. I'm excited. I'm going to be the first one to sign up for Crunch Alabaster. I'm pumped.
I'm going to tell you, I miss worshiping with our family so much, and our worship team. God, they're just so incredible. For a pretty good amount of sustained time, our heart rates ought to be in pretty good level during a worship experience.
We'll have to put a muzzle on Brandon Dawes. He already at times can sing over the worship team from the front row. So
I told Kurt Danner this week, he's one of our sound technicians at Alabaster campus, that he was talking to me about that. He said, well, I finally, at this point, I kind of miss it. I said, well, you just need to hold on, bro. I'm coming in hot. So
sometimes because our worship team, they use in-ears, these little headphones, and they can hear everything in their ears. And sometimes Dawes singing so loud from the front row will make its way into their microphone, so they hear Dawes really like clear in their ears. So it's tough on them. It's tough on them. Stacy, yes, the clapping. We need to work on the clapping. Church, it's not hard to clap.
In sync.
Come on. I mean, music should make you move. It's okay to move. When we come back, Dawes, we're gonna amp some things up. We're gonna liven some folks up. We're gonna get you guys together. We're gonna get some people to do a training.
Don't put no muzzle on me. I'm bringing it, man. I'm just telling you, I am ready for some worship. I'm ready to just lift Jesus up together. So you're either gonna get on board, or you're gonna be it's gonna be loud, and I'm excited. I just can't wait to hang out together and worship together, and it's gonna be so much fun.
It's going to be awesome, and everybody better show up. Just gonna say that, doll. Show up. Come back to church. It's going to be awesome.
It's gonna be awesome.
So good. Well, hey, look, we love everybody. Countdown should be beginning, and it's time to get ready for church this morning. It's going to be a cool message. Doss is bringing the message today from Lay Lake. He preached on a pontoon boat, and so you don't want to miss church this morning. It's going to be really good. So everybody go share the video, go invite a friend, and listen to me. This is the rule on social media. If you can like it, you can share it. So when you see something from the church, a video, a message, don't just like it, share it. Because when you like it, we know you like it. But when you share it, other people see it that would not see it in any other capacity. Yeah. So go and share content. Let people know that Cultivate exists. And because Cultivate is here, Jesus is a possibility. That's the big deal. We're taking people to Jesus. Cultivate is just a vehicle to get there. So we love you guys. We cannot wait. Trust us. We cannot wait to see you soon. And we'll see you in church online in just a few.